This is the eWing model 182B. This is a bathroom fixture for over your mirror. It can also be used as a wall scone. It's got two nice glass globes, very thick, very nicely made. Powder coated metal, very nice, scratch resistant. So don't worry when you're assembling it that you're going to scratch it. It's not fragile at all. First things first, let's talk about mounting it to the wall. This is your wall mounting plate. These are the screws. You've got 4 screws. Typically you only need 2. If you're mounting to a stud, you're going to use these 2. If you're mounting to a thin stud that doesn't have enough room, you can use 1 and then the adjustable. If you're going into wood, just use a screw. If you're going into drywall or something else that's not so sturdy, you can use one of the anchors. The screws come with a washer. Put the washer on the outside there when you mount it. One more thing I want to show you about this mounting bracket is it has adjustable screw nuts here. And these are real important because you want to make sure that this base plate is nice and tight. So get it to where once you have this mounted, and you're putting on the decorative nut on the outside, which doesn't go all the way through. It just tightens up very quickly. That the space between the wall and the mounting bracket is nice, so this is going to be tight and it's not going to move around so much, okay? And that's where you adjust it with those nuts. So that being said, let's go ahead and put this thing together. It's a very, very easy project. Anyone can do it. First things first, you take the fixture and you're going to want to put the brackets on it so you can mount it to this plate. Now this bracket has a nut on the end of it. Go ahead and take that off. Then it has an extra support washer in there and a lock washer. The outside sheath has 2 end caps. Don't lose those. And then this piece, which is the mounting bolt, will actually thread right into here. Now this has 2 plastic ends on it. I usually take one of the plastic ends out and then replace it because the plastic ends are there for safety purposes. It's not just for decoration. There we go. And the wires together, thread them through. Now this should hand thread on very easily. Once you get it down on there, you're just going to finger thread it onto it. And you're going to want to go more than a couple turns. So if it's not in there nice and tight and in more than a couple turns, you're going to want to just turn it around and try the other side. So nice and straight. Next, you put on the bottom cap for the outside sheath, like that. Then the top cap. And don't think that this is supposed to be tight now. This will be tight once you put it on the plate. And then the last thing we do is we put this plastic back on. And the plastic is important because it keeps the wire from rubbing against the metal on the bolts. Keep that from shorting in the future. Go ahead and do it with the next one. And once again, you should be able to finger tighten it down, and it should go more than a couple times around, maybe 2 or 3. There we go. Nice and strong. And then the bottom cap is on here already, so slide that over. Slide the top cap over. Replace the plastic safety piece. Okay, next thing you do is we're going to put it on the mount on the faceplate. It goes into the inner holes. The outer holes are for the wall mounting plate. There we go. First goes on the lock washer. Next goes on the support bracket. And last goes on the nut. And I'm just finger tightening these for the demonstration. You should actually use a pair of pliers, get them nice and tight. You want this fixture to be locked down. And then the last step for you to be will be actually to connect it, the wiring, which will just take the brown to the brown, the blue to the blue, and then negative positive. Okay? Just make sure the colors are the same so you don't cross the circuit on lights. Then when you go to mount that to the wall, this will already be mounted to the wall. See how the nuts go through there? And I'm doing this with two hands. You'll just have a wall to support you there. Put on the facade screw there. Facade nut. Faceplate nut. And the other one. And there you have it. It's fully assembled, ready for the globes. We'll put those on in a second, but I wanted to show you if this is moving around too much, that's when you'll take the time, take these back off, go back into these screws and tighten the screws down. Separate these nuts so that the right spacing is behind here. And what you should have after you, maybe you have to do this 2 times before you get the spacing right, you'll have a nice steady wall bracket. Strong onto the wall, no movement, no play. Okay? Now, to put on the globes, it's very simple. Take this piece off. Put the glass on. Remember the fat part down. And just finger screw it back on. You won't need to use any tools with this. It'll hand tighten. Once you start getting to the bottom, this is very important. Don't worry about the glass globe actually moving with your fingers here. Perfectly tight. Let's do it with this one. Remember, fat side down. And there you have it, the wall mounted 2-bulb scone or bathroom over the mirror fixture, ready for you to put your bulbs in.